Hello again, everybody. Help me, help you. Remember that line? It's from a classic movie from the 1990s.
Help me, help you. Help me, help you. Help me, help you.
That's right, Jerry Maguire, 1996. When I saw that year, I thought, are you kidding me? That was nearly 30 years ago. I just have no idea where the time goes sometimes. But anyway, that's the theme of this week's podcast. Help me, help you. Now, that is coming at a couple of different angles here. It could be adult kids looking at their aging older parents in a particular case and saying, Mom and Dad, help me, help you. It could also be the aging parents looking at their adult kids saying, help me, help you. Let me explain what we're talking about here. First, we're just going to assume, all right, if you are the aging parents, that you already have your wills updated, you've got the trusts on. That's not what this episode is about. That's just the assumption. You've got that all lined up. We're going to zero in on illiquid investments, which could be a little bit trickier because you've got the beneficiaries listed for your IRAs and your investable accounts and your stocks and bonds and all that. And that probably includes your property. What about the secondary property for those of you who own that? And I'm talking about maybe rental property, could be in town, could be in another place. What about a vacation home somewhere else? How about farmland that has been in the family for generations, just passed down? Mark my words on this, my friends. If you are the senior citizens who have this secondary piece of property and you think that just by putting a percentage, we'll keep it easy, let's say you have 2 adult kids, 50%, you think that you could just put that in some kind of a trust or will and that'll take care of it? Use my experience here, both professionally and unfortunately, personally. When I have seen siblings who otherwise have gotten along fabulously well their entire lives, all of a sudden cannot agree once mom and dad have passed what to do with this piece of property. All kinds of problems set in. So let me use a hypothetical example, and it's really kind of an amalgamation of a lot of real life examples that I've lived through. All right. So let's say there are siblings. They're adults now. They've got their own kids as well. And we'll call them Jack and Jane. Their parents have recently passed away. Their parents had a vacation home down in Florida for many, many years. And they bought it decades ago, let's say for a couple $100,000, $300,000 or whatever. And as you know what property values have done, especially in places like Florida, they've just skyrocketed. So that piece of property might be worth $2 million, $2.5 million or whatever. The kids inherit it. Now, once they've got it and they now have joint ownership, Jack says, I don't really want to own this. I don't really have the time. And frankly, I don't have a lot of interest to go down there. I'm more of a winter guy. I like to go to Colorado. I don't like all the carrying costs with insurance and taxes and all that. And the sister says, what are you talking about, Jack? We've had this in the family now for a long time. We grew up there as kids. I want to take my own kids. And by the way, what a great investment. You've already seen what it's done since mom and dad bought it. We need to keep this. Well, over time, what starts out as an annoyance turns into frustration, turns into anger. Jack wants the money. Jill wants the property. This could have been handled differently and better and more efficiently while the parents were alive. Now we've got 2 siblings who hardly can even talk to each other. This happens. I've seen it up close and personal. Then their spouses get involved. Then there's this divide. Cousins now don't hardly even get to see each other. This is all so preventable. So here is the plan of action. For you senior citizens, for you older parents who own this piece of property that I'm talking about, you can look to your kids and say, help me, help you. We need to set up a meeting right now. We need to find out what you kids want to do with this piece of property. And again, hypothetically, we'll just keep it to 2 kids, a son and a daughter, Jack and Jane here. And as it turns out, when Jack says, Mom and Dad, I don't know how to tell you this, but when you guys are gone, I don't really want to own that house. And in fact, if my sister wants to buy me out, and then Jane speaks up and says, I don't have that kind of money. This is a $2 million house. Where am I going to get $1 million? Well, I don't know. You could go to a bank and finance it. I can't take out $1 million loan. I wouldn't even be approved for something like this. And the parents are going, okay, hold on. I'm glad I know about it now. We're glad we know about it so we can help take care of this while we're alive. Now, I can't tell you every family situation is different. I've seen everything where the parents say, you know what? To avoid this sibling confrontation that seems to be inevitable, we're going to sell the property while we're alive. Now, somebody might be mad. In this case, it might be Jane, but the parents are saying, we don't hardly go down there anyway. We're a little bit older. We're going to unlock some profit here. Of course, capital gains come with it instead of getting the step up when they pass on, but that's a whole other issue. Another way to do it is, okay, we'll help the daughter in this case. We'll set some money aside that she can finance this and take 100% control. That's a little bit more rare, but I have seen it happen. Third option would be, all right, Jack, we're going to give you a little higher percentage of our liquid investments, all right, taxable investments. You'll get a little bit more of our IRA. Jane, if that's so important for you to own this piece of property, your brother's going to get a little bit more of this. Is that doable for you? Is that acceptable? Everything is on the table. But my friends, the bottom line is, remember the theme of this podcast. Whether it's the parents telling the kids this or the kids saying this to the parents, help me help you to avoid future arguments that I've seen divide families. There is a better way, and it's very, very easy. I hope this helps. I hope this wakes up some people. And if you know others in this potential situation, feel free to pass this along to them and say, yeah, you might want to think about this, all right? As always, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I thank you so much for tuning into the Simon Says podcast each and every week. We'll talk to you next time.